Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Ninja Turtles podcast. I promised I was going to give a review associated with the film, and here it is. I'm going to talk about essentially the good, the bad, and what may be the ugly within the film, and why I still consider it to be one of the better films that I've seen this summer. I know a lot of people have some hate associated with this film, and it's synonymous with the fact that it has to do with Michael Bay, I guess, as the producer. As with anything, I always give a movie a chance, regardless of who's associated with it. But again, my experience coming out of the theater was that I was pleasantly surprised with the production of this film. This was a movie that, again, as I had mentioned in some of the past videos, I was going to chronicle from its beginning, inception, about 2 or 3 years back. But I thought to myself, there might not be much news. I didn't see much news associated with it, and at the same time, it was fun to be able to be surprised by the film itself, to not pretty much know anything associated with it up until I saw it in theaters. And so once I saw it now, and I've seen it twice, and it's been something that's been so much fun, and it reminded me again of how much I love the property. That's why I'm doing this video. So here's my review associated with the film, and it has to do with, again, the good, the bad, and the ugly within the film itself. So first I'll talk about the good. The biggest benefit with this film has to be the Turtles themselves. They did a very good job. The director, I think his name is Jonathan Liebesman, and then the producer Michael Bay, and then all the writers, they did a very good job in terms of the Turtles, because obviously they are the main stars of the film. If it doesn't work with them, the film will never work at all. But the way the Turtles were portrayed, it is an excellent balance of showcasing the Turtles as the characters we all love, while updating them at the same time to what we have now in terms of their newest incarnations. Some people may not like them, some people may love them. I happen to be in the group that I do like the way they were portrayed within the film. And I'm very eager to see again how they'll continue to expand on this franchise. What also worked well with the Turtles was the brotherhood that shows between them, the bond that they have. It hinted and it stretched at so many similar themes within the past films. From Raphael again, wanting to go solo, to Michelangelo essentially trying to kid his way out of everything, to Leonardo being questioned on his leadership skills, and Donatello, unfortunately, he wasn't really shown too much within the film with his abilities, but he did kind of end up saving the day with the stoppage of the release of the toxin. But again, the brotherhood between them, the familiar stories that we know about them, even though this is a new movie, it was able to successfully keep that brotherhood theme together with them. Also, I loved the way there was a great lead up to the Turtles, to their debut. We didn't see them within the film, probably within about the first 20-25 minutes, and you didn't miss them, and that's not a bad thing, because again, with this film, and this being an origin film of sorts, the way they were hinted at within the first couple of scenes, where all you saw was a shadow, in this case of Raphael, and then you saw some glimpses associated with their work, with their ninja slicing, whatever the actions that they were doing during the credits. Again, there was a great lead up to their final debut, which was on the train. I love that sequence whenever the subway train goes dark, and then you hear one of them scream, all aboard, and then it shows them with all the flickering lights taking out the Foot Clan so effortlessly. Very good lead up on there. I'm very, very happy to see something like that, because that was a great opportunity that the film took advantage of, as opposed to just here we are and debuting them that way. So also the story, what was really good about it was, again, this was an origin story, but it was an origin story through the eyes of April O'Neil, which is Megan Fox's character. She did good, by the way. I know some people are gonna always criticize her work, but it shows that she has, I guess, learned within the past couple of years that she either took some acting lessons, or she reflected on how her acting style was. Whatever it was, she was able to improve dramatically with her acting, and it was wonderful to see the film and to see from her eyes, and be essentially, I guess, in a voyeuristic way, have what she's experiencing for the first time be the audience experiencing it. I love it when movies do these because you can look at any film, most of the origin films, like let's say the X-Men film, the first one, you essentially saw the building of the team through Wolverine's eyes and through his experience, or the Hellboy movie, whenever that agent was first recruited into the team, much like Men in Black, when Will Smith's character was first recruited into the team on there, you're experiencing the wonderful world that they're experiencing for the first time through their eyes, and that's what I loved within the story. I also like that it incorporated April as having a much more poignant part in the film than in any of the previous films. It showed what a missed character hers was within the first, the second, the third film, and then even within the CGI film that was released a couple years back, because she is quite a powerful character, and I was glad to see that they were able to make her have a direct impact, especially on the origins of the Turtles themselves. I mean, tying that scene, that Project Renaissance scene, where she's looking through the video camera and she's reminiscing on everything that happened there. I thought it was a very powerful scene because it showed again what you have in the context of that scene. You have all the major players within the film essentially be in the same scene together like 15 years earlier. You have April O'Neil, you have the four Turtles, you have Splinter, you even have Shredder, in this case his accomplice, that Eric Sachs character. They all knew one another and they were all within the same scene. Little did they know that they would later have such an effect together on life within 2014, but here they were in that previous scene. And it was her decision to save the Turtles that essentially kept them alive and made them what they were today. So very, very powerful stuff on that part. Also, the special effects, phenomenal. Absolutely great work. There were some scenes in there where it actually looked like the real turtles. Like, I guess the best sense that I could say real turtles, as real as they can be if you were to take an anthropomorphic turtle and make him into real life. Some of those scenes of special effects were drop dead real. I mean, some of them did look a little CGI-ish, but there were some scenes, especially the ones when they were escaping through the snow and they were on that 18-wheeler. I mean, some of those scenes were fantastic. It has to do, as always, with the lighting. With any special effects and the characters, if you can make the lighting, the shadowing of the character look real, you've accomplished most of the work. And what makes me scratch my head is that in looking at the budget for the film, did you know that the budget actually had the lowest budget of all the blockbuster films released this year? I mean, Captain America, the Spider-Man, the X-Men movie, all of those had like $200 million plus budgets, and yet here's this film, which I believe had the best special effects of them all. I mean, it looked photorealistic in some cases, and it had the smallest budget. Again, it makes me scratch my head because when I look at Godzilla, and Godzilla having a budget of $160 million, and the monsters were barely out within the film, let alone Godzilla, who had more like a cameo appearance. Here we have the Turtles, who, after they were debuted, they had minutes and minutes and minutes of pure 100% daylight screen appearance. In other words, the hardest appearance when it comes to special effects, and yet the budget was so much smaller than everyone else's. Again, it makes me scratch my head. They really, really tapped the dollar on this one. They stretched it to its full potential, so my hat goes off to the people when it comes to their special effects. The other good part, again, is the origin within the film. I thought it was a great update. People have said that apparently this origin is from the IDW comics released in the early 2000s. I'll have to double check on that because it makes me interested in reading those now. But again, it's a great origin that ties all the central characters together while still updating it towards what we expect now when it comes to films. So and also it leaves even with this origin, it leaves everything open for a very nice sequel. I mean, what happened to Eric Sachs' character after he was knocked out? What happened to the Shredder after he was essentially left as is on the street? And then it left it open for the Turtles, who now had like a turtle band of sorts. It looks like they were going to be out there more open in the city of New York when it comes to fighting crime. So great origin film. I'm very excited to hear that everybody, all the main players, April O'Neil's, Megan Fox's character, Eric Sachs' character, All of the Turtles, Splinter, everybody is signed on for 3 films, so it's good to see that the whole team will be back for hopefully 2 more sequels. So now let's talk about the bad within the film, and it has to do with some nitpicky stuff that after I've seen it several times again, this kind of stuff stands out. Number one, the biggest thing is the film. As great as it is, it does seem a little rushed. It does have the after effects of late post-production changes. It's as if somebody, I guess focus group, whoever they were, told the producers, hey, this film is a little long, it feels a little long under certain scenes, and so the slowed down scenes, the more drama, talkie related scenes look to have been cut, and there's proof on this. Again, with some of the deleted images associated with the film, it looks to be a much longer scene between Eric Sachs's character and April O'Neil's character in his home, where he's showing her much more about, I guess, the Japanese culture, about where he grew up, even hinting probably at Shredder armor, stuff like that. There was also apparently more drama scenes associated with April and Raphael. With some of those scenes, it looks like her walking him through the city at that point, so it would have been interesting to have seen what they had to talk about. And apparently there's more scenes hopefully of their origin. Again, a lot of their stuff was just hinted at throughout the film, but it seems like a lot of that stuff was cut, so hopefully there's going to be a director's cut or some kind of bonus set coming out with some kind of deleted scenes that'll either integrate them within the film itself, or at worst case scenario they'll just place it as special features alone. So the other bad part within the film, and again this is the target audience that they're going after, the movie producers are sometimes made the film a little bit too childish, and again that only has to do with the fact that it's a Nickelodeon movie film, so I can't really blame them for doing that. But I'm glad that they were able to balance some of the most childish scenes with having a lot of action, and in some cases a lot of very harder material stuff than you would expect from children, like the scene where Splinter is fighting the Shredder. I mean, some of that stuff looked brutal. I was surprised that it was within the film itself. I mean, by the end of the fight itself, I mean, the Shredder was almost torturing Splinter, so it was interesting that stayed within the movie. Another bad part of the film is, again, the missed opportunity with keeping Eric Sachs as the Shredder. I'm not going to go into much detail again, because if you want me to hear me talk about that, just check out the latest Godzilla rant video where I go into full detail. But again, I think it was a missed opportunity when it comes to Eric Sachs's character not being kept as a Shredder, because it would have been interesting to have him be essentially already one of the most powerful people within New York City and be untouchable. Make him like a Lex Luthor type figure, where the Turtles now know that he is the Shredder. And because he's so powerful, and because most of New York City still thinks of him as just an innocent, good man, a philanthropist, somebody who's definitely out there for the city, the Turtles can't do anything to him without having evidence. And he, of course, would not provide something like that would make him stand out as the bad guy. So it's a perfect parallel to the Superman Lex Luthor type world, where Superman can't take down Lex Luthor because Lex Luthor is far more than a bad guy. He's for the city one of the most beloved figures, and so to have that same thing happen, I think that would have been a great opportunity within the film to make Eric Sachs just be the Shredder. But I guess we'll see if that's left open for the sequel. So, and then the really ugly stuff within the film, I only have one criticism, and maybe it just has to do with miscasting, but the Vern character, which was played by, I think his name is Will Arnett, his character really missed the mark on a lot of things, and I feel sorry for it, because it seemed like he tried within the film. But I mean, a lot of his jokes fell flat. It's just the way he executed them. There are ways to tell certain jokes, and no matter how bad the jokes are, you can still make them good. It's all about how personality is within the actor and within the character. and his just fell flat. I mean, several times that I've seen the film, his jokes were the only ones that people didn't really laugh at. Maybe it was his, I don't know, his thick New York accent, who knows, but it was something on there that seemed a little off-putting, and it always led to his scenes being, with his jokes, like the most, I guess, bad ones out there. Who knows if his character may be improved within the sequels? Who knows if his character will even be in the sequels? Because from my understanding is they're going to incorporate Casey Jones as a love interest. So with him wanting April O'Neil's love to be his love interest, and then Casey Jones apparently, potentially wanting April O'Neil as well, it'll be interesting to see if Vern's character is even in there or not. So anyways, that's my review for the film. If I had to give it a star rating, let's say out of 4 stars, I would give it 2.5, maybe up to 3. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll say 3 stars, because it was a great effort by the producers, by the makers of the film. It showed that everybody seemed to have a love for the franchise. They didn't just throw this money away to make another film. This was definitely something that people had a passion for, and it showed on screen. So it was great to see another origin, another franchise coming forward with the Ninja Turtles. I'm still amazed that in my lifetime I get to see a big budget Ninja Turtles film, even after all the failed attempts from before. It goes to show the franchise is still kicking strong, and people definitely want to see something like this. So with regards to the franchise, here's to the upcoming sequels, and I look forward to talking about them here on my channel, all the information associated with them as they develop. So thanks again, everybody. Take care.